Alright, guys, we are back and we are just fresh off of another big Stanley Cup victory, guys. Our fourth Stanley Cup victory in the past 6 years of this GMO commentary. And we had to play a very good, very defensive minded Anaheim Ducks team, but they ran into a lot of goaltending trouble and we just managed to just take care of them very quickly. Not much offense, as you guys can see, with 2 goals, 3 goals, 1 goal, 3 goals, 2 goals. Didn't score as many goals as I wanted, but throughout this whole entire series, we didn't score as many goals as we wanted to. But this year, we were just a very big defensive-minded team, and we managed to get our fourth Stanley Cup in 6 years, and walked away with a ton of hardware, man. Lots of trophies won this year, but we're gonna go into the R contracts just like we did last year. We'll take a look at how the players grew and whatnot, and then you guys can always throw your suggestions into the comment box on what we can do. Because not this year, the next year, the following year, in year seven, the year seven off season, that's when we're gonna have the big re-sign phase of pretty much re-signing the entire team. So we'll have to worry about that when that comes. But let's take a look here, see if any people are retired. So Zetterberg retired now. Volchenkov. Anybody else? Anybody really of that importance? Ference. Justin Williams. Brad Richards is out. Volpetti, Vermette, Talinder, Burrows, or pick. Nope, nobody on Philly either, right? Nope, nobody on Philly, and the goalies, just some no-name guys, but that's about it. Okay, nobody on big really had to retire this year, but okay. So there's the guys from the prospects game. Yeah, I know. Continue. All right. So let's go to our contracts and let's check out how everybody developed this year. So let's go to our forwards and let's check these guys out. So we're starting with the captain, Captain Drew, and look at that, guys. He actually went back up to a 91. So a couple of years ago, he actually dropped from a 90 to a 91 to a 90, but now just that amazing year bounces back to a 91 overall player. So very good, very. I mean, I can't ask for a better bounce back year from Claude Giroux. I mean, bouncing back from 72 points last year to pretty much getting the exact same amount of assists and but doubling his goals this year. Definitely with the help of Hunter Shinkruk, definitely helped that out a lot. I mean, a plus 45. I mean, I couldn't ask for more for Giroux this year. Didn't have the best playoff performance as he did in the our two Stanley Cup runs for those, not in the 15-16 season where we got our asses kicked by Toronto, but these 2 games he didn't have the biggest amount of point totals. But still, we had a lot of depth scoring in the playoffs this year, and we were a more defensive-minded team this year. So no problems with Giroux. Definitely a bounce-back year, and still, I mean, we have him for another year on that 10.4 million contract, which is not bad. I mean, when this year comes, we can always just sign him to another probably his retirement contract, and then that'll be good to move on from there. So we got Galchenyuk and Shinkaruk, both of which have not changed in their overalls whatsoever. They're still both 89 overall, but I mean, not going to complain there. Our first line's very solid. Braden Shen still stays at a 87 as well. So I mean, but still, he's worth the money at 3 mil at a 87 overall. Second liner, definitely worth it. Skinner, yeah, he didn't change much at all. He's still at 85. I mean, we could definitely put him on the first line. He would get us points, but he was a playoff performer this year. I mean, he gets solid 50-point seasons, high 50-point, maybe 60-point seasons each year, which is what I want from second liners. But I mean, he does work in these playoffs, man. Like last year, he didn't do that good. He really wasn't showing up that much in the playoffs last year, but this year and 2 years ago, I mean, just look at the amount of goals scored: 11 goals, 10 goals. This was the year that he won the Conn Smythe. I mean, 20 points in 24 games, but yeah, he scored a lot of goals for us this year. I mean, he's still a great player. Oh, his contract is a little bit hefty, but I mean, we can work around it. We can work around it. Okay, so Wayne Simmons. Um, was Wayne Simmons in 83 and 84 last year? I don't remember. Guy, you can check that out for me, but I don't think he changed whatsoever. Still, great guy. But the only problem is that I mean we have Skinner and Shen on the second line, but we really need like a better second liner to score points. I mean, 45 points on the second line. It's not terrible, but I mean I could always use like a better second liner. Like, I mean, he didn't really show up that much in the playoffs either. 9 points in 21 games. Like, you throw. This is when he was like really high overall, like 86 overall. That's when his offensive category was much better than 86s everywhere. I mean, he was scoring 71 points and 63 points on the second line. So, I mean, he has it in him. He has the capabilities of getting like a 70 or 60 point season. But this year, I mean, he just dropped off last year because he was on the third line. Put him back up, he doubled his points, but he's still not getting that 60, the high 50 point season that you want for a second line. So we may want to go after a second liner in a free agency and maybe just use like Wayne Simmons as some trade bait. I mean, we could dump off his contract. I mean, he's only going to have one more year, so this is the year we have to consider if we want to drop certain guys off or not. I mean, like Eric Wellwood or like a well, I don't want to really dump Skinner or Shen just because they're really great producers for playoffs. But I mean, like Wayne Simmons and Eric Wellwood, we may have to consider dropping these guys off. But then again, Eric Wellwood, he's worth the money at 2.9. I mean, his defensive category is just is studly. I mean, he's still 83 overall. I mean, he's just a really good defensive player. I just love his defensive category. That's really the only reason I'm keeping Eric Wellwood for right now. But that's a possibility. I mean, we could trade Wayne Simmons and Eric Wellwood and maybe get a solid second liner to help out with Braden Shen and Jeff Skinner on that line. So we'll have to think about that. Coots, did he jump back up to an 83? I think he was an 83 last year. Maybe it was an 81. He might have went up to an 83 again, but still, he's getting better. He's actually considered a second liner now. Okay, so there you go. That could be possibly a problem solver right there. I mean, he doesn't get a lot of points, but he now is considered a second liner. His defensive category has produced very very well. It's high 80s everywhere. So this guy could definitely go on the penalty kill now. So maybe he's the answer that we're looking for there. Maybe Sean Couturier, even though the offensive category, like I want to see this again, even though the offensive category is not there, Wayne Simmons has a better offensive category than Sean Couturier does. He could maybe get the guy some assists, even though his like puck skills aren't that good either. But you never know. Put him on the second line, he can still keep producing. I mean, look at Shen. He jumps up to an 87. He's only 26 years old. If Coots could have a good year, I mean, I don't see why not. That he can jump up as well. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that. Let me know what you guys think. If we should put Coots on the second line and then maybe get rid of Eric Wellwood and Wayne Simmons's salary there and try to get and try to rebuild that third line out. So if we take a look down here, Ryan O'Reilly, yeah, he still stayed the same. We're gonna have to sign him this year. Yeah, I would definitely want to sign Ryan O'Reilly again, just because of he gives us not Alex Galchenyuk. Crap. Yeah. There we go. Okay, so I really want to just sign Ryan O'Reilly because he has the face-offs that I really need. Doesn't take penalties. His offensive awareness is really good. His poise is good. Defensive category is good. Great penalty killer for us. I would definitely want to re-sign Ryan O'Reilly for that third line. Zimnejad, he an 80 last year? I forget. I don't know, but he's the third liner now. I mean, we can move him up to the third line. He has a really good slap shot. His puck moving skills are pretty good. 84 passing. Discipline's good. His defensive category is getting there. Yeah, I mean, he could play on the third line now. Move him up to the third line. That way, that we only have to worry about like one third liner, one fourth liner maybe. Jaden Hart, yeah, he's still progressing pretty good. I mean, if we give him third line time, there's no doubt in my mind that he would jump up. But he's just a really good fourth liner for us. Good face-offs, good defensive category. Senses are good. His puck movement skills are good. Once again, he has a hard slap shot as well. I mean, like I said, he doesn't get the amount of points, but he's a good penalty killer. He wasn't my highest player last year, but that's fine. Okay, so then we're getting into the rookies down here, and it looks like everybody, the 3.5 and 4-star guys, are starting to produce pretty well. Now, off BOJoeKO, we have to sign him this year. He's a 77 overall, and he's actually considered a fourth liner. His defense actually got pretty good. He's got 92 defensive awareness, but his shot blocking and stick checking aren't that particularly good. He has a good shot. I mean, I don't know. We could put him on the fourth line, or we don't have to sign him at all. We could sign him and have him for depth. That's why I may want to do that. Just keep off BOJoeKO for depth, and then sign some more fourth liners as well. But I mean, we could throw Jordan Wheel on there again. I mean, did he drop down to a 77, or he's actually considered a depth forward again? So technically, we could start Jordan Wheel in the minors again. He could get better again. So we could keep BOJoeKO and Wheel for depth. Cousins, is he still a depth guy? Cousins is still a depth guy as well. And most of these guys, Cousins is on his contract this year, which is good because we could sign him to a two. He'll probably want a two-way deal. We could sign him to a um a 3-year two-way deal. That way, if he gets better, then we could just bring him up right away and let him play the fourth line. And then we got Lasso down here. Sean Monahan's still getting pretty good. He's up to 74. Rainsfeld, yeah, no, we're not getting better. Lundmark, he was the rookie. He's getting pretty good, 67. Sortini, I think he could play in the minors this year. And then, yeah, just the guys who we didn't sign. So that's the only problem we have. We may want to worry about this year. So, do we have to sign any forwards this year? Let me just look. I think the only guys are just, yeah, Ryan O'Reilly, who's only on the main roster. And then we could just sign Ulf BOJoeKO and Nick Cousins for depth. Because all our rookies are getting pretty good now that we don't have to worry about signing some fourth line guys, the guys for depth for the playoffs, because we don't have to worry about that. So that'll be pretty good because because you guys know we screwed up when we tried to make all those crazy trades. Now that we can't really sign any free agents, but that's fine. So everybody on offense is pretty good. The only thing that we have to worry about is should we give Sean Couturier the chance and play on the second line, and then maybe trade Wayne Simmons and like Eric Wellwood away in free agency, and then maybe get another third liner or a better second liner, and still let Coots play the third liner. There's lots of possibilities, so you guys can always just comment away on that. So let's check out the defense now. Let's check out on defense how everybody's doing. So overall, there we go. Okay, so Ryan Murray still 89 overall. I don't think he's going to jump anymore. He could. It's a possibility. Ryan Murray could jump overall. I mean, he's only 24 years old. He's still a top two defenseman. His defensive categories ridiculous. I mean, he had 38 points last year. He's pretty much a high 30-point producer in the NHL. So not going to complain on Ryan Murray's part. Shea Theodore jumped up to an 86, so he's now a top 4 defenseman as well. It has to be between, so it's gonna be probably between who we play on the top line with Ryan Murray. It's either going to be Shea Theodore or is it going to be Ryan Pulock who's going to get the start on the second line. So let's compare these guys so far how they're doing. So Shea Theodore's defensive category is getting pretty good. He has a wicked slap shot. His shot is getting very good. His puck moving skills, he has good puck control. His discipline, offensive awareness is good. His poise is getting better. He's got 99 body checking. And he's a very, very fast skater as well. So, I mean, Shea Theodore is just definitely turning out to the player we wanted to. I mean, we got that second round pick for a reason, and he's just turning out to be a very good defenseman for us. And then there's also Ryan Pulock, who we have to determine as well. I think he has a better defensive category than Theodore. He's also a good skater as well. He has a very hard shot. Very hard shot. Passing and puck control are pretty much about the same. He can't deke for anything, but I mean, he had a very good year as well. He had more points than Shea Theodore. He only had 27 points this year, only because he was playing top 4. But if we maybe put Shea Theodore on the top 4, I mean, maybe he can get the 40 or 50-point season on defense. So we'll have to see about that. We'll have to determine which one of these guys we want to start on the top 2 with Ryan Murray. Okay, so now we have to worry about the guys who we're going to have to sign this year, being Petrovic and Joseph Morrow. So Alex Petrovic still staying stable at 85. Overall, nothing really changing there from Petrovic. We'll probably have to sign him this year. He's probably going to want a good bit of money, so we'll have to try to get him for cheap. Joseph Morrow's probably going to want a good bit as well. He's still at an 83 overall as well. He's still considered a top 6. But yeah, he has a top 6. His defensive category is getting good. I mean, he still has the very hard shot. All of our defensemen pretty much have hard shots. And then we get to this guy. This guy. Duncan Simons. Now, I know a bunch of you guys are saying he's not developing because I have him playing on top 6. True, I will say that. I mean, he's not going to be scoring many goals just because he has an okay shot, no accuracy on it whatsoever. but he's pretty much our defensive defenseman. You're not going to be seeing him getting much points. I mean, just look at look at the points that he's been having: 27, 11, 8. He's not a point producer. I mean, his discipline is kind of something I'm worrying about right now because I mean his penalty minutes are racking up pretty highly if we compare them to other players. I mean, Mara only has 33, Petrovic 32, Pulak 10, Shea Theodore 6, and Ryan Murray 29. Uh, Duncan Simons is really the only guy who's pretty much producing penalties on the defensive side. I mean, and in the playoffs this year, he had no points. He had no points. He was a +5. I'll give it that to him. He was a +5, but he's just non-existent on the playoffs. So I mean, he's worth the contract. I'm not saying that he's not worth it. He's worth the contract at 1.5 mil. I'm not going to complain about that. I still have him for another. At least I still have him for one more year until I have to re-sign him. Actually, no. Yeah, I only have him for another year, so we have to decide if we want to trade Duncan Simons or not. Maybe we should give Arturi Lehkonen the shot up here. I mean, he's already a top 6 defenseman, and he's not going to be growing any whatsoever if we keep him down the minors. He's up to 79 overall. I mean, he's no better than Duncan Simons though, because his discipline is very bad. So we'll have to see about Arturi Lehkonen. We have to sign him this year as well. It's pretty much the same thing. Sign him for depth for the playoffs. But then again, we have no defensive prospects. He's our really only defensive prospect. So we'll have to see about that. And then now let's take a look at the goaltenders. Where's the goal? Whoa, where's the goaltenders at? Goaltenders. Oh my God, that's why. That's why I blew right by. I didn't know we had that many goalies. But yeah, look at that. Gordon Peckham, the man, the performer of the year. Gordon Peckham jumped up to an 86 overall goalie. He is now an elite goalie. His reflexes category is outstanding, 5 stars. He's still amazing on angles and stick high. His puck control definitely needs to keep producing well, so that'll keep coming. And his athletic category is getting good. He's got good agility, durability, and all that. But I mean, this guy is just an amazing. Regular season last year, 28-9, goals against average under 2, and then the playoffs went 15-3, 1.64 goals against average, won the Conn Smythe. I mean, this guy is just he's the goalie of the future for us. And now we have to worry about Jack Campbell. Now, I still have him technically on a 4.3 for another. Let's see. So 1, 2. I still have him for another 2 years, but I want to think about maybe dumping Jack Campbell off this year in free agency because you guys know we have a very big re-sign phase. Uh, yeah, because we have a big re-sign phase next year. Sorry, I was reading a text message. We have a big re-sign phase next year, and I don't want to have Jack Campbell's $4.3 million contract holding me back. So maybe Jack Campbell could be a little trade asset too in free agency, so that we can get a good second liner coming up this year. I mean, not trade him at the trade deadline, but more trade him in free agency right now so we don't have to worry about it, and that'll free up $4.3 million worth of salary cap. And I mean, we do have a couple prospect goalies. I mean, we have Lundstrom down there. I mean, he could technically be a backup. Sharpen, and he's 3.5 star guy. I mean, he's getting better. Lywin, 3 star guys. 3 star guys can get to like 80 overall and become a lifetime backup. So we don't have to really worry about that all that much. But it's just something to think about that we may want to just dump off Jack Campbell. Probably this year would be the good thing because I would just want Gordon Peckham to play every single game this year. So that's all that, and I think that basically wraps it up. So let's just take a look at all the guys who we have to sign this off season. So we have to sign Ryan O'Reilly, Joseph Morrow, Petrovic, BOJoeKO for depth, Nick Cousins for depth, Lehkonen for depth. So how many is that? That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 guys, and we have 24 million dollars worth of salary cap room to work with. I think we definitely should be fine for that. Yeah. Well, actually, no. 14? Is it 14? It might be 14 mil or something like that to work with. It says we have 24, but We'll have to see. It might be on the lower end of that or the higher end of the teens area, but we'll have to see. So I don't think it should be too hard of a problem to solve because I mean Ryan O'Reilly. Let's see. I would see him maybe wanting the exact same. So we'll just say four. Joseph Morrow 4. Petrovic 4. Like 5. So what's that? 4, 4, 5. What is that? 13. And then depth. Yeah, we should definitely be fine with signing guys, and then we just have some room with room left over to sign some free agents if there are any. If we can, that is, because you guys screwed up. But look at this next year. Look at this next year. Shinkrook, Galchenyuk, Murray, Skinner, Simmons, Shen, Wellwood, Couturier, Zibanejad, Wheels, Simons. I mean, we have to sign the whole damn team next year. It's going to be ridiculous, ridiculous signings next year. But we'll get through it. We will get through it. We will get through it. So once again, guys, leave your suggestions in the comments of what we should do. Uh, what we should do for signings and tradings for the off season. But we're gonna go into the re-sign phase. Actually, no, for the draft. I don't see us making any moves at the draft. But I don't know. We'll have to see. So, guys, make your suggestions on any moves you think we should do at the draft. I don't think I should move up at all. It would be nice to get another good defensive prospect, but I don't really see the need to move up into the draft. So, in the next video, I think we'll skip right through the draft. I'll take my early picks and then yeah, we'll move into the re-sign phase.